press that Mind Blast. Now mine's here. Now Shadow Word Death? Yo, what spec are we playing again? Holy Priest? Never would have guessed. Looks like the unpruned gods have been very kind to Holy, and really, besides the two priest healing specs, it's looking to be the one with the most things going on, if not the harder to play. Covenants, Legendaries, Soulbinds, all sorts of goodness are coming for Holy in Shadowlands, so embark on a journey and check all of it out in this video. The journey can always end on our stream at twitch.tv/MarcelianOnline. We stream all throughout the week, usually 5 days, BFA and Shadowlands, dungeons and raids with viewers, but mostly hoping to get that afterlife footage, trying to kill myself, but realize I haven't started recording it yet. Kill me, 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 kill me. Man, they're not killing me. Shit, I'm not dying. I don't want my tank to die though. Yes, there you go. Yes. Shit, I'm not recording. God fucking damn. Other than that, Holy might have just surpassed Discipline in complexity, at least at first glance. Mostly because of stuff like Mind Blast. There's no atonement involved, but with the addition of this plus Minds here, you actually have a DPS rotation and DPS options. Since it's not straightforward and mandatory to press them, the decision to engage in DPS is more impactful. You don't translate your damage into healing, so you will just do damage. After BFA, this isn't so bad. Having stuff like Shadow Word Death that really does a number on your target, but you have to sacrifice potential healing for it, is kinda nice and refreshing for a change. That just means that your decisions will impact your performance even more. And with the change to Holy Fire not being instant and resetting, but dealing almost triple the initial damage, you have an actual DPS level rotation when you want to output some numbers. That aside, Power Infusion is also back, and I know what you're thinking. Actually, I don't, but yeah, since your DPS isn't as important, this could still be a much better defensive cooldown than for Discipline. There are a lot of hardcast heals you can get through to reach your Holy Words, and this helps with that in tough scenarios. Or simply give an almost bloodlust to your DPS, and that alone can be considered as damage contribution to the group. Or simply use Mind Soothe to skip shit and make rogues useless. I mean, you can try, and it's nice to dream, but hey, class flavor. Speaking of which, Power Word Shield also made its way back to Holy. On its own, it doesn't feel as amazing. The absorb is pretty average, and it doesn't apply atonement to have its value extended further. But at the end of the day, it's damage prevention, and as a rule, you always want to prevent damage more than to heal it. But there are a few things that can make it worth it even more, and we will get into that in a bit. Prayer of Mending is instant as well. This was a very good change considering it's a hot with no immediate strong effect. Not only that, Priest has a lot of hard cast abilities, and baking in an instant that actually matters can improve your mobility indirectly. This is also further complemented by Circle of Healing being baseline now. Yep, no longer a talent, but a baseline instant AoE healing skill. Not bad, not bad, Blizz. Choosing the Kyrians for your Covenant will net you Boon of the Ascendant. This is a massive cooldown to press that will give you access to Nova and Blast, and AoE and single target dealing damage and healing respectively, abilities that heal or damage in AoE or single target. You get it. Each time you use these, you get a certain number of stacks. Once your ability runs out, you explode in AoE healing and damage based on the stacks accumulated. This is essentially an extra cooldown to use in oh shit situations, and that can also be an offensive one if you really don't need it otherwise. Moving to Maldraxxus, you get Unholy Nova. This pops an AoE Nova that heals allies and debuffs enemies with a strong dot. Also, when you and your allies damage the debuffed enemies, you get healed by a flat amount. Well, everybody does. Scaling with your spell power. This can be a pretty good option to have and take into dungeons, which was kind of a weak spot for Holy for a long time. Shadowlands might be different this time around. Oh, love to Holy. And hey, if fairies are more your thing, the Night Fae of Ardenwold have Fae Guardians as one of the most versatile abilities. When you pop this, you get 3 Guardians that act as buffs on targets that are affected by 3 specific spells. For the Wrathful one, you gain mana back whenever you cast Shadow Word Pain on a target. The Guardian Fairy gives your most recent target of your Power Word shield a 10% damage reduction, giving more value to your shield and most likely your tank healing, since you will make the most out of it on average on your tank. Lastly, the Benevolent Fairies activate on the most recent target of your flash shield to have its target gain 100% cooldown reduction rate, recovery rate. With so many interactions, this ability can give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to providing support to your group. And lastly, the Venthyr will give you Mind Games. This seems more of a PvP ability, but can still have good uses in PvE. You essentially debuff the target with a decent damage chunk and invert their intent. What this means is that when the enemy damages someone, usually the tank, they heal them instead, and vice versa. When they try to heal themselves, they damage themselves instead. Every one of these events occur, and when they do, you gain mana back. This could work as a tank cooldown depending on how it scales, and right now the initial damage is larger than Holy Word Chastised by almost double the amount. Not a lot changed for the talents. Enduring Renewal has been taken out and replaced with Renewed Faith, where your healing is increased on targets with Renew on them by 10%. This can definitely make Renew come back to your rotation, but still competes directly with Trail of Light. Not saying it's not good, 10% healing activated by an instant global is nothing to dismiss. We will probably need some sims and logs to see how much this ends up being in terms of value. Afterlife has been buffed slightly to offer you more range to your heals when in spirit form to compensate for your lack of mobility. And by lack I mean nada mobility. The row is still very competitive, with Cosmic Ripple having just large amounts of free throughput and Guardian being a must in very high M+ keys where tank damage intake is crazy high. So this might not see that much play. Although analyzing unpruned abilities for more specs and traits for certain soulbinds, we have a lot of mechanics that activate upon someone dying. We are in Shadowlands, and maybe the devs want to make this a theme, and it would be cool. If it turns out that people just die more now due to unavoidable mechanics, this could be a thing. To replace Circle of Healing, you now have Prayer Circle that reduces the cast time of Prayer of Healing by 30% for 8 seconds after you use Circle of Healing. This gives your circle a whole new role in your rotation and can transform into a short window of many prayer spams, obviously working towards an even faster Holy Word Sanctify. It's still a lot of hard casts in a potential dangerous situation, but it could up Holy's game in dungeons. Priest has received quite a few really interesting legendaries. For baseline for all specs like Vault of the Heavens, where you leap to your target with Leap of Faith instead of the other way around. Or Twins of the Sun Priestess, where Power Infusion is also applied to you when you target a friendly group member. These work pretty nice, but really cool ones will definitely be Holy specific. Stuff like Divine Image, that has the mechanic of your artifact weapon of invoking a Naru to copy your spells. And that sounds like a lot of fun, not only as a mechanic, but could also alter your rotation even more where you want to get your holy words even quicker. Flash Concentration makes your flash heal reduce the cast time and increase the healing of your next heal cast within 15 seconds. this stacks 5 times to the point where heal will be instant. This also promotes spamming the necessary spells to reduce the cooldown of Holy Word Serenity, this time, which is where your meat of your healing resides. Most of the time. And on that note, Harmonious Apparatus, the tier 17 4-piece effect, comes back to increase the number of spells that can reduce the cooldown of all 3 of your basic holy words by 4 seconds each. And I'm not going to mention again how important this is for holy. Lastly, a more controversial one is Zanshi, Return of the Archbishop Benedictus. When your Spirit of Redemption expires, you get resurrected with full HP and maybe mana? But puts the passive on a 10-minute cooldown. Again, the argument of dying. This is the most cheat death there is, but doesn't really contribute to your ability of keeping your group alive, so... If you have seen any of our previous priest videos, you kind of know what to expect. But in case you are new to the Soulbinds and Conduits of Shadowlands, let me simplify it real quick. Soulbinds are essentially secondary talent trees you access when you choose a covenant. Each covenant has 3 soulbinds, and each soulbind has a fair bit of builds and paths you can take them through. Not all are good, and not all will contribute to your throughput, either HPS or DPS, for some reason. Soulbinds like Pelagos can give you access to 2 of his stat increase passives in Let Go of the Past and Combat Meditation. These increase your versatility and mastery in different scenarios, which are always nice, since you are a healer, you like stats, as opposed to Clea, who has Valiant Strikes, one of the more support-oriented abilities. When you and your group crit, you gain stacks, and at 40 you heal yourself for 10% of your HP and 5% of your allies' HP on them. They get healed by 5% of their HP. Was that clear? With a crit-focused build, you could have a chunk of your throughput come from a mana-less source. But Holy isn't a spec that favors one stat incredibly strong over others. Haste is also pretty good, and with Gnashing Chompers from the Necrolord's Emony Soulbind, you can gain and maintain a haste amp. Forgeborn Reveries is yet another cheat death-like mechanic where you get resurrected for 10 seconds after you die, to heal with 50% effectiveness. Assumingly this works after Spirit of Redemption fades, you could be looking at a fair amount of time of dead, not dead healing? Similarly, the Night Fae, Nia to be exact, has the trait Nia's Tools Herbs that boosts the haste of the target of your heals. This can be particularly good for tank healing cause, you know, they like haste and stuff. Social Butterfly from Dreamweaver will give you a ping-pong-like style versatility buff that jumps between you and 2 allies within 8 yards. This is a bit positionally restrictive, but the verse buff is pretty good for very little effort put in. But if you want to have Door of Shadows from the Venthyr Covenant, you too can choose Theotar and have free transmogs for the end of time. And really, isn't that everyone's dream? No? Just mine? Well, you can still get Wasteland Propriety to buff your versatility by 10% and 4% to your allies when using Door. There. Happy? Although a bit more tanky orientated, General Draven comes with Hold Your Ground. When standing still for 4 seconds, you gain 10% stamina and 4% healing done that persists for 4 seconds after moving. Bonus healing is always nice, and it's pretty good because it doesn't come at a cost of mana or a GCD. These are just a few of the things you could be interested in until we have the chance to actually test all of the Soulbinds with all of their combinations. Until then, your eyes should focus more on conduits, to be honest. The potency ones will be the healing boost options, and here you can see why certain Soulbind builds that unlock more or less potency conduits could impact your performance. Focused Mending increases the healing of your Prayer of Mending's heal on the first target by 20%, scaling up to 50%. With the spell itself being instant, this could offer more control and reactive power up front when shit hits someone hard. Holy Oration boosts the Holy Word cooldown reduction from their respective spells by 5% more. We discussed the value of getting more and more Holy Words out a few times throughout the video. You get it by now. Lasting Spirit comes to maybe invalidate the Afterlife talent buff by making Guardian Spirit last 5 seconds longer and increase the healing bonus it provides by 10 extra %. The reason I say that is because the talent affecting Guardian Spirit was taken mostly for the bonus healing and not the cheat death effect. With this conduit, that incentive is even stronger. Lastly, Resonant Words makes your Holy Word spells increase the healing of your next heal and flash heal by 10%, scaling up to 25%. I kept mentioning the scaling bit. Every conduit has 15 ranks so far. That increases the base effect, so all of these bonuses will only get bigger as you get better and better gear. All in all, I was pleasantly surprised by Holy Priest, and you will be too, I bet. There are a bunch of old things coming back, baseline priest abilities that you lost over the years. I get some might not like the extra buttons on their bars, and really, most of the unpruning is not something you have to use in your rotation anyway. But the added flavor and versatility present in your kit really breathes a breath of fresh air into an otherwise bland and straightforward spec, I think. Don't get me wrong, the spec is nice, feels nice, looks nice, and for turbo nerds such as myself, actually I have the depth I sought to challenge myself with when playing the spec, so 10 out of 10 from me. Other than this, I strongly recommend you check the Warcraft Priest Discord channel for future updates after this video goes live. The boys and gals there do some pretty swell job at keeping people informed properly. And of course, a special thank you to our patrons for supporting our content and everything that we do on Marcelian&Online, be it class overviews, streams, on cooldown news, and our mockcast. And by the time you see this, our super secret project will already be out. Hope you liked it and enjoyed it. And yes, I am still wearing a tank top. And no, it's not a wife beater. I don't have a wife anymore. But if you want to support us a little bit more, you can check the Patreon link down below, and you'll also find merch link, a link to our merch like this with Marcelian&Online on it, or other designs that Marcelian himself hand drew in by his own. Like, what the fuck? I'm just reading shit off a screen. But thank you for watching the video. Glad you enjoyed it. Hope you did. And if not, well, why am I saying this? Have a good day, everybody. Love you.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.